Oklahoma City Thunder forward, power forward to be exact, Darius Bazely, has been looking amazing in workouts. I had to reverse that because he's 6'9", 6'10", handling the rock like a guard. But let's check out his open runs though. Now, the reason that I'm speaking on Darius Bazely is no coincidence at all. Look at that step back. That was beautiful. But the reason I'm speaking on him is no sudden coincidence. For those of you who OGs to the channel, y'all know I've been speaking on Bazely ever since he came into the NBA. I told you guys last year before he ever went into the bubble that this guy had star potential written all over him. You know, being 6'9", 6'10", you know, he was under the age of, you know, barely 19, you know, and still had plenty of time to grow into that frame, you know, finish filling out his frame. So the fact that he can handle the ball like a guard, like a 6'5", 6'6" guard, he has speed. He's very quick. You know, CP3 went ahead and backed that statement up after I told you guys last year. He's also very athletic. You know, this guy has very good basketball IQ. He has the ability to pass the ball. That was one of his strengths coming into the NBA, was his pass-first mentality, you know, his court vision and whatnot. And I don't feel like he's totally displayed that since he's been in the NBA. You know, that's still a tool he has in his toolbox that he's going to break out. And, you know, you match that with Pokashevsky and Shea and also the rookie that they just accumulated in Josh Giddey. You got a ball moving team down there in OKC for Mark Daigneault to move around as he pleases. But of course, Darius Bazely had his flaws. Last year, shooting splits wasn't very well. He shot 39.6% from the field and 29.8% from three, which was a step back from his rookie season where he shot 34.8%, almost league average from the three-point line. But, the numbers from the field overall stayed the same. Last year he shot 39.4%. But what I will say is, you can see from the rookie season that, he does have the ability to shoot the ball at least from deep at league average. He moved into a bigger role. He went from 5 shots a game normally to 12.5, 13 shots. He upped his scoring averages from 5.6 points per game to 13.7. So you can see, the kid definitely has the ability to grow. They asked him to score more. He did that. Of course, moving into a new role, his efficiency is definitely going to go down. He's shooting shots that he's not accustomed to shooting at a speed in the best league in the world that, he's not used to. So he had to have a filling out year last year. He played in 55 games, and in all 55 games he started. And if y'all watching the video in the background, you see how athletic this youngin is. He's faster than most forwards. He's more athletic than most, guards. So, he's usually taller than most guards. So he has the ability to shoot over the top. If they switch a guard onto him, if they put a big on him, he could just go right around him. He also is very versatile. He's a good two-way player. He can play positions maybe 1 through 5. I think he can play 1 through 5 and guard 1 through 5. So he's a very versatile player. He's one of those new age forward/guards that's coming into the NBA. Carbon copies of LeBron James. LeBron James was the only player, we had ever seen up until him, besides Magic Johnson, that could guard 1 through 5 and play 1 through 5. Then you get your Kevin Durant's, then you got your Paul George's, Kawhi Leonard's that came after. And I feel like, Darius Bazely is cut from their same cloth. Darius Bazely has all of those skills. He has a major skill set that is being underappreciated, by NBA fans. Now, Darius Bazely does have his flaws. Let's not get that wrong. His shooting efficiency is his biggest flaw, but that's something that definitely can be improved on. Now, if you watched him towards the latter of last year, he definitely seen that, his shooting the ball wasn't falling. So he started taking it to the cup, and he showed that, he has an edge even on the inside. He's very strong. He's very strong up top. He's a strong finisher at the basket. And one thing I like about Bazely is that, he's quick off his feet. He has quick twitch muscle fibers that just snap faster than everybody else's. So when he misses a shot, he just bounces back and goes up and gets that shot and, takes another one. So Bazely has that hustle to his game. He has that it factor. If you pay attention to him, then you will see that Bazely has all the intangibles to be an NBA All-Star and potentially a superstar in the future. Now, as I stated earlier in the video, for the OGs, y'all know that I've been said this from day one, and I believe that Oklahoma City has shown that they won the trade. They won the trade that they made for Bazely with Brandon Clark. And you had the whole Oklahoma City Thunder fan base and the NBA as a whole saying that that was a poor decision to take Bazely over Brandon Clark to cut back cap salary. When they retained Jeremy Grant, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, that put Oklahoma City in a bind. It put them, over the cap salary, so they was in a luxury tax. Been in a luxury tax for some years since they had Kevin Durant. So they was in a tough spot. So they decided ultimately to trade and pass on Brandon Clark, who was NBA ready at the time and could have came in and gave Westbrook and Paul George, some backup help on that Thunder team that needed it. No one knew that Jeremy Grant was going to break out and become a 20-point per game scorer. You know what I'm saying? He did have the flashes, of course we know, but no one knew that he was going to dominate you know, like he did in Detroit last year. So, you know, that was one of those things that was an anomaly for, you know, Jeremy Grant. Now, honestly, the Thunder and Sam Presti is such a wizard of a GM, and I don't like to use the word wizard, but that's the only thing I can use to describe the magic tricks that he makes happen in the NBA. He just knows, he foreshadows, he can foresee what a player is going to be before he ever even, you know, the rest of the NBA catch whiff of it. So he understood that, you know, this man Darius Bazely had the potential to be a star, as well as Jeremy Grant, when the rest of the world didn't see it. So he passed on Brandon Clark, which was one of the most surefire things in the draft of 2019. He traded on him, ultimately traded down, you know, grabbed Bazely, cut some of that salary away, and then, you know, Bazley's looking like he's going to be the higher upside guy. Of course, you know, potential is what we bank on when we're talking about the NBA draft, but, you know, Bazely had big bust potential, you know, not taking a conventional route, passing on college, you know, saying no to Syracuse, and ultimately opting out the first time to go to the G League. And then his agent, Rich Paul, you know, LeBron's agent, decided, you know, he was going to negotiate a deal with New Balance that took him into a completely alternative to the alternative route. And he took a year off as an intern, you know, worked on his basketball, you know, with Mike Miller, you know, and other coaches, you know, worked on his shooting, worked on his weak points, and came back in the summer league, looked really good, had a really good rookie season, you know, like I said, shot league average from 3, and ultimately in the playoffs showed that he can elevate his game. You know, going into the bubble, he was amazing, and then you know, in the playoffs, he was still amazing on limited minutes. You know, he's 18 minutes a game. He shot 50% from 3, 40% from the floor, and 90% from the free throw line. So he definitely elevated his game and showed, you know, the potential of what he could be at his peak. You know what I'm saying? So Bazely has everything that he needs in his toolbox to be very, very talented. And the pictures that you guys just seen shows the work that he puts in the off season. You know, we're going to continue to cover Bazely, but like I'm telling y'all, man, this man is definitely going to be a star, man. He's definitely going to be an all-star at some point in his future, and he's the man who's overlooked in Oklahoma City. He's overlooked big time, you know, by what people believe Pokashevsky could be, the lockdown defense of Lou Dort, you know, and then the draft picks, you know, the major amount of draft capital. He's the one that's pushed to the back. But honestly, I feel like he's OKC's second best player, you know, and could blossom into, you know, a 1A, 1B situation with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So don't be surprised if you see a breakout season from Darius Bazely, where he steps up to the plate and becomes a 20-point per game scorer, because his progress in the NBA points to that. You know, he's taken a very good climax in his career, the same that we've seen in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander took his scoring from 10 points per game to 19 in his second year to being a 24-point per game scorer on very high efficiency in his third year. And just like Shai, you know, his shooting from 3-point range took a step back. Shai went from being a 36-point per game shooter, which was, you know, a little bit over league average, to a 34%, you know, which was under league average. He didn't take as much of a dip, but it was a 2-point dip there. Darius Bazely took a 5% dip and wasn't really necessarily league average, but he was close. Now we can see him, you know, take an increase from, you know, that 29% up to around, you know, I would say a 37%, 36%, you know, 3-point shooter, very reliable, and maybe around 45% from the floor while averaging 20 points a game. I feel like Bazely is definitely going to step up and take that number 2 scoring role, and that's what Oklahoma City wants for him. That's why they threw him in there, threw him in the water by himself, set Lou Dort a lot, you know, set Shai out for the rest of the season, Al Horford. They wanted Darius Bazely to get that experience, you know, of being the number 1 scoring option. So when those two were down, Bazely was the one that opposing defenses double team. He got that experience, and that experience makes wonders. It works wonders. Now you see him in his off season and he knows exactly what to work on. Getting bigger, getting stronger, working on his three-point shooting, tightening his handling, working on his finishing ability, just capitalizing on the speed and athleticism he already has, working on IQ. You see him out there with Chris Johnson, and Chris Johnson, as we all know, does wonders. He works wonders. He did it for Jordan Clarkson, revitalized Dwight Howard, revitalized, multiple different people, multiple different NBA players that we've seen. A lot of NBA players have worked with him over time, and he's done wonders. He's done nothing but wonders. Chris Johnson is amazing, honestly. I would like to see my man Darius Bazely go work with the guard whisperer also, because I feel like the guard whisperer is the best three-point shooting coach out there. But Chris Johnson is definitely a high-level coach, and he's looking like the hard work that he's been putting in is paying off. So, Oklahoma City Thunder fans, y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comment section. Darius Bazely will be the best player on this Oklahoma City Thunder team besides Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's my hot take. And I feel like Darius Bazley's potential is highly underrated. They try to compare him to a Nicholas Batum, but he's clearly better. He's clearly better. That's just retarded for anybody to compare them to. But the defense definitely there, and I can see, where people get mixed up. But yeah, y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this down in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, with that being said, I'm out. Believe that.